Hey guys, Axis&Allies 1942, second edition. This is what the board looks like after round two. Just want to give you a overview, and I'll tell you what happened the second round. This is it, round two. Okay, so Russia basically, they attacked Ukraine, Belarusia, and Leningrad. They were able to occupy 2 of the 3 territories. They got diced pretty bad in Leningrad. The battle they should have won. They ended up losing like 3 men. So that was a setback. It's good for the Germans, obviously, to hold Leningrad. They took Belarusia, though. They took Ukraine. Obviously, as you can see, the Germans have retaken those 2 territories. Russia also got diced here in the Battle of Buryatia. They came in with 4 men, and they were repelled by 1 Japanese infantry. So they retreated to Yakut, and they're just trying to hold the line right there. So Russia, not the best turn. But, they're still hanging in there. They have 3 fighters, and they got a decent amount of men and artillery, so I don't think they're going to go down soon. As you can see, there's a red marker there on the complex. Japan just did a raid on Moscow this last turn. Damage of 5. The Germans did better than their first turn for sure. Like I said, they were able to repel Russia from taking Leningrad. They moved their main force in Belarusia. We'll see which way they go. They may go north, they may go east, or they may go south. I think that's the best position for them right now. Resources are coming from Berlin, but they'll be here next turn, so we'll see what happens, which route the Germans go. They're heavily defending France, and in Africa, the Germans did attack Egypt. All land forces were wiped out, so basically they weren't able to take Egypt. They decided to attack Egypt because they had to do it now, or else they could be in trouble because the Western Allies, as you can see, did Operation Torch and are now on the continent. So Africa is pretty much thinned out in the south of Egypt. There's 1 British infantry, but we'll see what the Germans do there next. I mean, they may have to abort Africa and get their air force out of there because the Allies are coming in pretty strong, as you can see. Britain had a good round. They landed there on Morroco. USA did a follow-up with reinforcements. Their navy is healthy, as you can see. UK has a good navy. On the Asian continent with UK, they're just holding right now. We'll see if they do a counterattack next attack. Australia still has 3 men, the original men from the beginning of the game. And UK has a small navy fleet. The transport went east and is on Sea Zone 22 and is trying to make its way up to the main Allied fleet in the Atlantic. So a decent round for UK. They're still making okay money. They did lose Borneo, though. Japan took that this round. Speaking of the Japanese, let's see here. They won a battle up there against Russia. They repelled the Russian infantry squad. They took 1 more territory in China. As you can see, the whole Chinese line has collapsed, and Japan will probably get some more money next turn. We do have that factory in Kwantung, and the Japanese are quickly putting it to use. From last turn, they bought that factory. They had 2 tanks, and those men and tanks are probably going to head to India, most likely. They may even go into Russia. We'll see what they do there. Japan still has a pretty good navy, 2 battleships. They only have 1 carrier, though, and they lost 1 in the Battle of the Hawaiian Islands Sea, I guess if you want to call it, or Central Sea. They built 2 destroyers, too, trying to keep the navy kind of healthy because the U.S. is starting to build ships, so we're going to have to start competing with them, boys. In Japan, like I said, they did a raid on Moscow, so that was a very successful raid. So a decent round for Japan. We'll see what they do next round. As for the U.S., let's see here. They built a carrier, with 3 subs and a transport and a man. Very strong fleet off the San Francisco Bay, and in Guadalcanal they have a good fleet. Obviously the goal is going to unite those 3 fleets. 1, 2, 3. Unite them somewhere, maybe in Iwo Jima, Wake Island. Continue to put pressure on Guadalcanal and go from there. We'll see what they do there, but they're definitely looking good with the Navy for sure. The U.S. is. In the Atlantic, they don't have much resources here compared to the Pacific. They did do a follow-up in Morocco, basically protecting the British with 3 men, artillery, tank, and I like bringing an AA gun there because if the Germans do get frisky and try to attack you, you may get lucky to take out a fighter. We'll see what happens, but yeah, I think most of the resources from here on are going to go to the Pacific. Some will go to the European theater, but mostly the Pacific. U.S. is basically just going to try to win that naval warfare and just try to just outproduce the shit out of Japan. And yeah, hopefully they can get some of these southern islands. We'll see how Japan plays the defense perimeter there. So it should be interesting. I've always been a big fan of the Pacific theater. Obviously, I do like the European theater too. All the world theaters are interesting. Let's just say that. So this is what the board looks like after round 2. Definitely a better turn for the Axis. Still anyone's game. The Allies do look healthy for sure, especially in the Pacific, I think. I don't think Russia's going down soon either. So it's going to be interesting how the game plays on from here. A much better turn, like I said, for the Axis on round 2. So I will begin round 3 probably tomorrow, and I'll give you guys a report of how that round goes when I'm done. Okay, deuces.